everybody. I pray this video finds you blessed. It's been a while. It's been so long that I lost the original footage for casting this piece. In this mass of resin is Cocobolo shavings. I do remember that. I'm really sorry I don't know exactly all that is in here besides Cocobolo shavings, but you can see some of the colors are golden, some reds. And yeah, so that's what's in there. And this is a shaving set, bowl, lid, and the handle. I cast the bowl and the lid all on one solid piece so that way it would, match up. I have casted the lid separately than the bowl. All depends on what Tupperware I have available. Usually I use like leftover sour cream or cottage cheese containers. Right now I'm putting a tenon on the lid, well, what will be the lid, so I can turn it around and work on the bottom of the bowl and put a mortise in it. The inside diameter of this bowl is 3.5 inches and the inside depth is 1 3/4. I make my own soap, so the molds that I've come across, especially for round soaps, shaving pucks, whatnot, vary in size. It could be 2 inches, 3.5. I've even seen 4-inch. Right now I'm putting a mortise on the inside of the lid. This will later be filled with resin. You don't have to fill it with resin if you don't want to. I just find it makes it easier with the whole process that I do. And also in case like soap or stuff like that gets in there, it's just makes it easier to clean when there's no nooks and crannies inside the lid. When turning your lid, make sure you give yourself some allowance for the coating on, of the resin. Unless you plan on polishing this, then it won't matter. But if you plan on coating it in resin like I'm doing, make sure you leave yourself some wiggle room. I'm just sanding these pieces up to 400 grit because I'm going to be coating them with resin, and all those scratches and everything go completely away. You just make sure you want to get all the resin dust out of those scratches really good, because those will stay white when you go to coat it later on. So just clean the pieces really good. Even if you have to take it, put soap and water on it to a sink and scrub it. With the lids of these things, it's really cool because you can get all kinds of fancy. You can do all kinds of creative stuff for them. I've put logos in them, all kinds of stuff. So just use your imagination. Make the lids fancy if you want. I've also, my husband's, I have a little indent in the top where the brush for the shaving handle sits right in on the top. So everything kind of stacks nice and neatly together on the counter. And so that's an idea. You can throw that in there. I mean, just have fun. I use PVC for this casting because I was kind of testing it out. I have different size PVCs and I'm doing them different ways, where I split the side and tape it up before I cast it. And it all seems to it sticks. It just sticks no matter what. So I didn't even bother trying to get this out of here. I just figured I'd turn it off and, deal with all the plastic everywhere. But I have several different molds that I've been kind of going through to see which ones work. But if you have a particular mold or something that you use for shave handles like this, just put it down in the comments below and share with us so we can try it out. I use a Ruth Niles bottle stopper mandrel thingy for my shave handles. So whatever size bottle stopper, if you have one of those, I'll put the link for the one I have below for Ruth Niles. I had it years ago and it happens to work fantastic for these shave brushes. It all depends on the size of your knot that you purchase as well. So just make sure that whatever size hole is going to be big enough for that knot. And it's not too big either, because otherwise you'll have this weird gaping hole and then a small knot sitting in there. I would say the handles for these are the most challenging to turn for me, because you want them to look nice but also have good grip, and you know where your thumb and pointer is going to be. So sometimes I'll have my husband come over because he has large hands, and I'll have him grip on it and just tell me how does that feel, because I have long fingers but smaller hands, and you know, I mean, everybody obviously has different sized hands, but I want it to be feel good. And so I would say that's the most challenging for me. To put the finish on these, and so I can do all of my pieces all at one time, I purchased on Amazon their tumbler little motors. They're little kits that you can buy, and the box I bought, I think it had like 5 of these little motors in there, along with the PVC that you would mount your cups to do, you know, tumblers. So I just took and cut that PVC down, turned a round piece that's smaller than what my mortise is, and because then I know it will fit right in there and give me plenty of, you know, room so I can coat it. And then put just tape. You know, you can do painter's tape or whatever kind of tape. It's just so if those pieces get stuck on there, you can pull the tape off, and it makes it to where you don't have this big block of wood now stuck and you have to turn it off. So it adds a layer of protection to your project. And I use double-sided sticky tape. Sometimes I use hot glue. With that particular double-sided sticky tape, that stuff was old, and I had to use hot glue in order to stick the double-sided sticky to the mount. But anyways, you use whatever you feel that you can get off easy, and you know, that won't ruin your piece or ruin your mount. And then for the mandrel, I just put painter's tape on there to keep the mandrel getting all resiny and nasty, and you know, obviously sticking my handle to it with resin. So far, out of all of the Total Boat resins that I've used, the fast set seems to work the best for doing coatings. It doesn't take too long for it to set up. I would say 4 or 5 hours, and I would leave it for longer, but 4 or 5 hours, you're going to have a surface where you're not going to have bugs sticking to it anymore. That also depends on the temperature outside. When I did these, it was warm outside. So it was at night though that I coated these, and I just set a timer for like, I don't know, I think it was like 3 hours to check them, just so I can turn off the motors and they don't overheat. I wanted it just to turn long enough to where I could shut off that motor and there was no like sagging or anything in the finish. The most challenging part for me is keeping bugs, mosquitoes, and obviously shop dust, you know, off your piece. So I devised this little area in my shop where my burner is, and I used a 2x4s to make them, you know, all different sizes, so they can all be running at the same time and not hit each other. And I can cover it all with a plastic tub. It's very, you know, rigged, whatever, but it works. And I have all these plugged into one little thing, so I can shut them off all at the same time. They all have individual switches, but it's nice to be able to just, you know, check them and then, you know, shut them off, make sure they're all off. So there's all kinds of ideas that you can, you know, have to, but I find that really works a lot better than keeping it on my lathe and having to do one piece a day. And having those little motors is a lifesaver. Now for larger pieces, have not tried them yet for larger pieces, so I don't know how well they would work for heavier pieces. Rotisserie grill motors, I heard, are really good to use, so yeah. For a tip for gluing in the shaving knot, I would definitely do not overfill this, because if you do, there will be resin all in the little hairs. I do have one brush that I have the resin got up into the brush hairs because I overfilled it slightly. And of course, those hairs are going to absorb it long before you realize that it's overfilled. Now when filling these, I just make sure that they're good and level, so I don't have to go back and refill them, because that has happened before. You always learn from your mistakes, right? So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry it's taking over a year to put a new video out. This year has been a busy year. I had surgery and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just trying to work wood turning back into my schedule again. And sorry about the dog barking in the background. So yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging in there and watching this. Hopefully this inspires you to make your own shaving set. The brushes, I'm having a hard time finding like I did before. My gosh, I know you guys know everything's getting crazy expensive, so I'm having a hard time finding them again. And as soon as I do, though, I will post the link to it. If it's not in this video, it will be in something. It'll be somewhere eventually. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the new intro. My son is now making music, and he made that special intro for me. I really appreciate him doing that. And I pray y'all have a wonderful week and take care of yourselves. God bless.